Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live. Now, Eli Zaelo is a musician from Pretoria based in Hong Kong who partakes in a diverse profession addressing South Africa as a main envoy. Well, she is currently back in the country until August and has released a single titled The Sun, which is an Afropop tune. Eli and her team are putting together an Afri-Chin experience, which is an event that is aimed at putting young South Africans in the room. Well, she joins us now in studio to tell us more about her musical journey and, of course, her upcoming event. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
For somebody who's never had seen you before, because you were here, I think, about 2-3 years ago, and you were in Hong Kong. Tell us about your move to Hong Kong and how you ended up doing music and being in the country.
So I originally moved to Hong Kong in 2015 after landing the role of Nala in the Lion King production for Hong Kong Disneyland. So that was my start with Hong Kong. But once I got there, I really enjoyed Hong Kong and I looked for means to stay. So that's where I started gigging around and I discovered that, hey, hang on, why don't I start singing in different languages? So that's my journey.
And how has that been, the transition to the different languages, and how's the reception there?
Well, to be honest, when I first started, I was really scared because I didn't know how I would be received. And naturally, people were scared for me because I didn't have a point of reference. I hadn't seen anyone who looked like me singing in Chinese. So when I started, I was nervous, but the reception has been incredible.
Speak to us about Afri-Chin. What is it?
So Afri-Chin is this experience that I'm putting together with my mentor. I met her when we were both in Hong Kong. She's since moved back home, but she was working for the South African consulate in Hong Kong. And so I realized where I am today is because of women like her and people like her who opened up the door for me. You know, I was a young woman trying to figure out my way, and she introduced me to so many incredible people, you know, and I attest a lot of my career to people giving me a chance and opportunity, just placing me in the room. The power of exposure is so incredible. So I want to bring the experiences that I have learned along the way and bring them to young South Africans so that they could be in the room and walk away feeling inspired.
What are those experiences?
So I have sang for, as I mentioned, you know, consulates of various nations. I've sang the halftime show for the Rugby Sevens in Hong Kong, represented South Africa in so many ways. And I think when you're around an environment of people who can teach you, like consulates or business people or any field that you're interested in, it expands your mind. It allows you to dream bigger. When you walk away from that experience, you want to go back home and go back to the drawing board and see how you can maximize on that experience. Because we tell young people all the time, you know, don't have imposter syndrome. When you're in the room, own the room. But sometimes we don't provide rooms for them to own. So I really want this Afri-Chin experience. It's doubling as my album launch, but at the same time, I want other people to benefit as well.
And how is it going to showcase, you know, the African culture to the Chinese?
So it's just, from the second you walk in, it's just this integration of two worlds. So there will be a youth choir, you know, we from the deco to the food, to the music, to the fashion, everything is just an integration of the two cultures. So it's a cultural exchange with the premise of course, being African because of the context of us being in South Africa, but then we add influences of Chinese culture as well. So that because people ask me all the time, what is it like in Hong Kong, you know? So I want to show them the world through my eyes because I'm an African in Hong Kong. So this is how I incorporate my own world.
Speak to us about your new single, though, The Sun. How's that? What is the inspiration behind that?
So with The Sun, it's, for me personally, it comes from a place in my life when things were a little bit dark. And then when hope came and I could see the horizon of hope springing back up, I decided to write the song. And you know, when you heal, you want others to join you on that journey as well. So that's what The Sun is about. It's about bringing hope to people, or to myself and to people who feel like the situation is too dire. I wanted to speak to the fact from experience that there is hope, there's a dawning of a new day, you know, so that's what the sun is about.
And at what point did you realize that actually this is what healing is supposed to feel like?
I think, you know, I could attribute it to so many things. The people around me who kept me propped up. You know, I have an incredible support system, and just taking things one day at a time. Sometimes we overwhelm ourselves with wanting to reach the end point, but we find that actually the healing comes from the journey, from giving yourself one more chance, one more day. And before you know it, you look back and you're like, okay, I have made progress, I've healed. Yeah.
How would you describe your sound?
My sound, so I have two different styles, I would say, but the main underlying or the basis is R&B.
Right.
I have an R&B tone, an R&B passion, and an R&B voice. But I also like house music. I like Afropop. So I try to infuse the two. But I am fortunate that I have this Mandarin side, this Chinese side that allows me to just sing ballads. And then I have this Afropop side that, you know, so I can go between both worlds.
And what has been the response to your previous offerings?
Well, with my first Chinese single, which was Stories About Love, if you translate it, I was not expecting that reaction because, so I was dubbed the first Black woman to release a song in Chinese. So that was an incredible honor. And I would say that with my first Afro-pop single, which was Human, that was also positively received.
All right, so give us, what are we going to hear from you for the next two performances?
So the first song is going to be a song by a Hong Kong legendary artist. I would say it's the equivalent of Brenda Fassie to Hong Kong. And the name of the song is a Chinese song in Mandarin. It's called Qin Mi Ai Ren, which means intimate lover.
All right.
And then the last performance will be my latest single, The Sun.
All right, Eli, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
All right, so Eli Zaelo taking us through her musical journey of using music as a universal language.